rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother too. You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother too.
Get into today's topic of interracial dating, aka all the black men we see with white women in Hollywood. Just kidding, a little deeper than that. Well, Michael B. Jordan was spotted on a yacht with a bunch of white women, and I mean, he's just been spotted around town gallivanting with a series of white women on vacation. He tried to play it off and say it was his bro's girlfriend, but he was canoodling with her. I don't know, all of these things. All of this leading to our question of the week. Why do black women feel so hurt when we see our black men with white women? Ladies.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. And she is not what I really think is, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices because when pressed or asked about it, a lot of them have really lame excuses. Like Michael did the whole thing about milk flavors. And I was just like...
So weird.
Right. Like, just say you like what you like and this is not it or this is it.
My problem with it is that I feel like Michael B. Jordan's fan base has been built on the backs of black women. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose his audience. So now he's clamoring and he's all these milk analogies and it's really strange. But we see this so often in Hollywood.
Yeah, and we're seeing right through it because all of those types of explanations, they just read as superficial and inauthentic.
So superficial.
It's like, just own it, brother. I think it hurts me as well, only because I see black partnership as a black investment back into our community. And when you look at our families, the first person you love is your uncle or your father, and you see this example of black men and black women loving each other, and to think that a black man maybe went through his life without wanting to build that same type of family, it can be very hurtful. And I do think there is this overarching belief that a lot of us are dating and marrying outside of our race. So far, I think it's 89% of the current men who are married are still married to black women, but that does not acknowledge how that statistics has evolved over time because these new brothers,
the new niggas.
They ain't doing what your daddy was doing back in the day. They on a new wave, which is a lot of times dating outside their race or this whole exotic thing and stuff.
It's hard sometimes with conversations like these, and I think a reason a lot of black women don't even like to talk about it publicly is because, like you said, you don't want to be labeled as angry or desperate. Yeah. And I know personally, I don't want to frame my whole life around the fact of whether or not some black man opts to choose me or not. But I think it's valid to be able to say this is how we feel because we're already black women that exist in a world where we are not considered the standard of beauty. Yeah. And then to have, the men that look like you and the men that you, like you said, you loved your uncles and your fathers and your brothers, and these men that you grow up thinking that you're going to choose and they're going to choose you back are getting the same message that, their sisters and moms and cousins are great, but that's not who they're going to or necessarily choose or think are beautiful. So it is hard.
Now let's see what social media has to say about this. We wrote about this Michael B. Jordan story on HelloBeautiful.com, and we went to the comment section where Tarita M. Ingram said this: I feel like the narrative that black women are affected by it is false.
Okay, so we have to kind of qualify affected. I don't think it means we're not sleeping, we're not eating, we're just awake at night going, why is Michael B. Jordan with a white woman?
I did for one night, but okay.
The majority of black women are not losing sleep because Michael B. Jordan decided to go on a yacht in Italy with 3 women. I just want to go to Italy, whether or not he's there
or not,
or not. So. We should be able to talk about it again without being labeled as angry, desperate.
Yeah. I'm also going to say, I didn't feel like Michael B. Jordan was going to get with a black woman anyway. Did anyone else feel that way? I don't look at Michael B. Jordan and think he's going to be with a sister. There are also some comments on our Facebook page about Michael B. Jordan. Janelle Marie said, I don't have a problem with interracial couples as long as the black women aren't being put down to lift another race up. At the end of the day, let that man be. He's grown.
Thank you, Janelle.
I agree with Janelle.
Thank you. I think that's
fine. I mean,
it doesn't mean I'm not going to side eye.
Right. Like, I might suck my teeth a bit.
A little.
But again, if you're not, putting us down to live your life.
It just really makes me wonder why they like these white women. You were talking about this too, though.
We have all been conditioned that white is right, from beauty, from success, like that version of whiteness and what it should look like. So whether consciously or subconsciously, these men women, like everyone that exists in this society is buying into that. Yeah. And you're fighting every day to really fight against it. And I just think a lot of these men are not fighting it. They've just, they think that they're choosing, but really it's being chosen for them.
Okay, so as always, we talked to you guys about this subject, and we asked, as a black woman, do you care when a high-profile black man dates a white woman? With 38% saying yes and 62% saying no. All right, so all y'all watching this, y'all don't care?
The lies!
Okay.
The lies!
The comments tell a different story.
Right. But apparently y'all don't care. But again, maybe we have to qualify care, because if they don't wake up at night thinking about it, maybe they're like, I don't really care.
Okay.
We also asked, we discussed the interracial relationships between high-profile black men and white women because we just like talking about celebrities. That was 42%. 33% said, I don't discuss this. And 25% said, because it further pushes the notion that white is right. We discuss interracial relationships the same way we would on the internet as we do in real life. I think anytime you're navigating these spaces and you see these pairings, you might think or feel a way. It's just on the internet, you have free range to comment on all of it.
These are the people we see. So, I mean, of course, we're going to talk about celeb interracial relationships more than like the man that lives up the street that's married to somebody, because it's not as interesting. We're more invested in these men and in who they choose because they represent what we consider to be the best version of like black men. So, of course, we're invested in who they choose.
And I think we're invested in these people's lives. Like actors and movies and sports are escapism for us. So then when these people who we are looking up to escape from us, we do feel away. So, I mean, to put it like that, and social media. We're looking at these things every day. Like, it's part of our daily conversations.
10 years ago, we wouldn't have known who was on his boat on vacation because we wouldn't have seen it. So now we know how they spend all of their time. So we are then we feel some kind of way about like every movement. When really, if we didn't see it, we wouldn't feel probably as much as good or bad about it.
I think the solution here is for black men, date, marry, love black women. Which I know is super hypocritical because I've dated white men. I have. But one thing I do think, for black women, if we're really heard about it, we need to open up our vantage point of who we're looking at today, because they ain't stopping what they doing. So
in 2018, to carry that kind of herd about black men dating outside their race, that's not going to stop. So I think that we can acknowledge how we feel about it, but I think part of it is opening up your horizons and saying, okay, I'm open to love in different places. But it's also, I think, challenging black men. If you're watching this, don't label a black woman that questions or, maybe feels some hurt about who you choose to date and love, and labeling her as being bitter and angry and hating on you and this woman, whatever. And also asking yourself, why did you make that choice? Because I think the issue for so many black women is, one is the hurt of seeing it, but it's really more hurtful when you get this really tired explanation of why that's based in us not being good enough or being a headache or being this type of personality or we're not around. So that's for me the issue.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Listen to Black Women. You can watch it on HelloBeautiful.com and MadameNoire.com. Until next week, guys, see you later.